camera's killing me, man. It like just this thing is like I'm doing this on my Apple, which I recently my Mac, which I recently bought, and there's
Just an
like
apple.
this is actually, you know how fruit and like stuffed potatoes can conduct electricity. This is how it's, yeah, we put a camera in one. No, but it just zoomed out like 30 feet and like it exposed what my little mic is sitting on, which from where it looks now, it looks professional. And then when you see it's just a stack of books, it doesn't look as professional. So yeah, this is I need to figure out how to get this thing straight, but uh
You know
not a
what I
bad way to
think?
start the episode. It's been a little while.
It has. Welcome to episode 45, where we just talk about a bunch of stuff and things and stuff. And you listen because we're cool and you like it. And that's why we do this. So I was going to say, what would make all of this better is if our audience would just donate probably like $100 maybe per person to us. And we could have a studio where it could be a professional setup and we wouldn't have to do it, like we've been doing it. I think that would be the best bet. And realistically, the thing and the option that makes most sense going forward.
Have you ever seen those streamers and they talk about like the chat and they keep talking? Well, I mean, pretty much that's what every streamer does. They talk to the chat. We need to find a way to get a chat involved and then get people to donate money through the chat. That
You,
is what we need to do
you
because
know,
some sugar daddy could come on there, think we're really cute, and then he could go, "Hey, I'll get you guys a studio, a little sugar money for you."
mm,
We're not doing anything in return publicly, but we would love for that to happen because studios are expensive.
just a
But
tad bit. Yeah.
I mean, even this stuff is expensive. Even our Apple computers, our mics. I mean, none of this was
Headphones.
cheap to get into, but
Yep.
these are our problems, not your problems. If you want to donate money, I'll give my address at the end of the episode. You can send it directly to my mailbox.
Yes. Along with any other thing that you would deem necessary to warrant giving to us, Keegan will cover that
Yes.
without question.
Yes. I just say yes until I regret it. So,
It's your lucky
oh,
day, audience. It is a day where Keegan says yes.
yeah. It is a day unlike many others where I decide to say yes to anything. Remember that
And everything.
remember in Bruce Almighty when he's talking about he's answering prayers for everyone and then he just says yes to all and then all these people's prayers get answered and they're all very selfish and bad.
Yeah. That is not us, though. But what we totally could do sometime where we could develop a chat or a larger online footprint. We could go live on Twitch. We could create Thoughtify on Twitch. That
Yes.
way, as we're doing a live episode, granted, we could do a live episode with our current platform, but Twitch would be pretty dope. Audience, for all those that listen, which we know it's everybody, what would you think of us doing a live show on Twitch and then establishing a presence on Twitch? Because it's not
That'd be
just
pretty
gaming.
sick.
It's not just gaming on Twitch. It's all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, it is. Can you hear that in the background? Do you hear anything?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
My dog is watching TV and sometimes she keeps the volume up a little too high. I can hear it very clearly, but as long as only I can hear it, that's really all I care about.
Hey, she's doing her thing and you're doing your thing because you got to pay the bills to support her and her habits. So
She's got a lot of them. They
Yep.
are not cheap habits. Oh, here she comes.
she's like, I know
I
you're
can hear her
talking about
walking
me.
down the hallway.
She's like, I know you're talking
Oh,
about me.
there she is, the pretty girl.
Has Bristol ever made an official appearance? I know she has in the background, but has she ever made an appearance on the podcast before? Thoughtify audience, Thoughtify army, get ready to meet Bristol May.
Oh, Bristol
She's
May, the
like,
prettiest
hello,
girl ever.
world.
She
Oh,
says,
look
I
at
got
her.
a lot of things to say. Pretty much more tweets, more pets, and that's it.
And donate to Thoughtify.
Donate to Thoughtify and donate treats and donate lovinge, which
And
is her
money.
way of saying lovinge because she gets lots of lovinge every day. I
Yes.
love you.
She's like, okay, you can stop that now. Thank you.
Yep, she's gonna sit there and just make me guess what she needs for the next hour. Um, I'm getting a couple stares, gotta look back. It usually translates to the initial I need something, but we don't know what it is yet. We'll
Yes,
find out though.
that's where you got
It's
to
all
play
a
Sherlock
process.
Holmes. Yep.
Yes. Yes, I do have to be a Sherlock Holmes with that dog. She is like a cryptic communicator, but a constant one. So a lot of
Yes.
data to work with, not easy ways to sort through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of it. It's what you got to do. It's part of the day-to-day life. But well, man, I know it's been a little bit since last episode, but Keegan and I were talking actually before we hopped on about a certain live streamer that has gone absolutely insane and popping off and taken the world practically by storm. And we can't help but just watch him constantly, whether it's clips, whether it's his live streams, whether it's the full on videos or whatever it might be. We just can't get enough of the freaking burnt peanut.
Dude,
Like
he's
we're
always in my
gamers.
feed.
It's crazy. It's insane. Like even if, I mean, he started popping up in my dad's feed. My dad started to find out who burnt peanut is. And he
You
started
want to know?
watching clips and he's just,
You want to know
yeah,
one of the reasons that happened? So we were just grabbing lunch together with his father, or breakfast together, and we brought up this burnt peanut clip where that got really famous. Actually, a DJ used it in one of his DJ sets, and he's like, "The time for talk is over. The time for war is now. Prepare to meet your gods." And he does it way better than that, but he just essentially screams that in Arc Raiders as he's attacking someone. Because you're gonna meet them right now. And he says some explicits. But his dad thought even our renditions of that were pretty funny. And then I sent your dad via text that specific clip because it came on my feed, and he laughed. Which he doesn't find a lot of this stuff we think is funny, so that was funny. And now I guarantee you that was the Trojan horse that infected his feed with burnt peanut, and it is a yeah. I mean, I freaking I literally the other day, you know how like sometimes you'll find something you really like and then you'll geek out on it a little too hard and there won't be much new content for you to be able to go through? Because like this happens with streamers all the time. Like especially when they're famous or popular, like he won like Streamer of the Year award, is when people will go and very heavy. Like they'll create pages that you think is them, but it's not them, and they have
hmm
thousands of followers, like the Burnt Peanut 008 or like the Burnt Peanut, funny clips or something like that. None of these are actually the Burnt Peanut. I went and actually found the Burnt Peanut's Instagram page, followed it obviously, but then spent about the next hour going through that page and just burning through all of the available content. So now there's so many clips that I've seen that I'm almost like, dang it, I shot myself in the foot here because I just like spent an hour doom scrolling before bed just watching 30-second to 2-minute clips. And very worthwhile content. What's some of the funnier things that you've seen him do or that you like watching about him? I've got one that, and the reason I asked that question is because I've got something I want to say, but if I just monologue for too long, then the show will get too popular.
that, hey, and we do not want that. We do
We don't
not
want
want to
that.
get too popular.
This
We
is
need
about
to
us.
remain level headed, focused, but not too good. We have to fly under the radar to
Yeah.
remain like normal.
We don't
So,
want Spotify to see too early that we're gaining a lot of followers because they're
yeah,
going to think that the Thoughtify was based off of their original name and then legal
yeah.
battles. Like we said, we're going to represent ourselves, use ChatGPT as our legal assistant. And probably, I mean, honestly, we might get kind of far, but regardless, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say real quick on the note before I say what clip I really like. When you say you burn through all of his content like really fast, it's like when that first season of a brand new show comes out
I
and
hate
you
it.
watch it immediately and you finish it and then you're like, well, crap, I get to wait a whole nother year before I get to watch season two. It's that same scenario. But, and I will say a quick little caveat, you're getting to experience the benefit of Fallout. Now that there's multiple seasons out right now and you can
I
just
was going
go
to
through
bring
and
that
just
up.
watch them. Yeah.
I was going to
Just,
bring that up.
yep. So all that to say, that's like a pretty
We'll talk
accurate
about that
depiction.
after this.
Yeah.
We had some topics we wanted to discuss today, but as always, like one topic randomly connects to another, and it's like, all right, I do want to talk about that as well. If we would have asked each other, what do we specifically want to talk about outside of burnt peanut and a few other things, we would not have been able to tell you. But now I know Fallout's one I want to bring up because I have some gripes with that show.
Yeah. I would say one of my favorite clips, though, I was showing my dad this yesterday. It's one where he's playing on Spaceport and he's on one of the outer kind of parts of the map on top of a building. He knocked one player. And of course, he's talking, communal voice chat, talking with this guy. And he's like, die a warrior's death, die a warrior's death, basically telling him to crawl off the building to fall to the ground. And, hopefully the impact would kill him. But as he's having this monologue with this down player, there's another active player running by him, shouting at him, and Burnt Peanut says, all right, hold on 1 second. He's like, hey, shut up. You shut up. And then he ends up downing him and turns right back to the down player, and he falls off the building. And then he's like, sir, can I kill you now? Obviously, horrible
Nah, it's good. It's
summation of
good.
it,
Play
but
it in your own head. Play it in your own head, and then go watch the clip and see how it lines up.
it's
My
not very
favorite
close by
thing
any
that he
means.
does to so many players is if you went to high school around the time that we did, maybe you didn't have to read this in high school, but we had to read this, was of
Which was
Mice
a
and
couple
Men.
hundred years ago at
Yes,
this point.
it's actually getting further and further by. Well, I mean that's how time works, but it just seems to
What?
be getting insanely far away because what was it, 2012, and that's over.
It's 14 years ago in May.
Geez, we're gonna have our 20-year anniversary here soon. We had our 10-year anniversary, and I was like, I'm not going to that, nor
Yeah,
was I
I didn't.
invited. So, not like I had the
That's
option to deny the invite. I didn't see it if I was, and I would have said no if I did. Um, but no, my favorite one that he does is in the book of Mice and Men. If you're not familiar with the premise, there is these two main characters, and one of them is mentally challenged, extremely. But then the other guy is kind of a, how would you say, a jack of all trades, kind of. They go from town to town trying to find work, and this mentally challenged guy, I don't remember how they met. He kind of got thrown on him, but he's grown a kind of a relationship with him where he takes care of him, and they're kind of like pseudo brothers, to where it's just like he that's always gonna he annoys him because it's hard to go they're it's in older times, or it's not maybe older times, but it's definitely you know uh if I think of if I remember right, like the 1800s or the early 1900s, like it's a time where there wasn't as much technology as there is today. So they go from place to place. He's trying to find work. It's kind of always a stress because he's bringing this mentally challenged person with him. But the thing about the mentally challenged guy is that he is massive, and he's got what people used to call retard strength. And clip it if you want. But that's what it's called. It's what it's referenced. It doesn't sound right if you say mentally challenged strength. So I'm bringing that word back.
you're
But
gonna get us canceled.
probably, but it's okay. I'm already hated in DFW, as I found out recently. Uh, we'll talk about that in a second. Oh
Oh,
man, we got so much to talk about. But long story short, there ends up, and I won't. If you haven't read the book, it's a very famous book. It's a really sad book, but it's also a really good book. I won't say the specific situation, but I mean honestly, like the book has been around for like 40 years at this point. I feel like if you haven't read it now, the spoilers are that's on you if these are spoilers. Okay, so they find this work at this farm, and the um mentally challenged guy is kind of this really pretty girl takes a liking to him in a weird way. She's almost like enamored that he's so enamored with her, and she almost has like a sexual tone, but like also at the same time he's mentally challenged, so like she's just kind of like playing on his very childlike emotions, and he accidentally snaps this girl's neck because he was playing with her hair, and then like she was like stop or something like that, and he like freaks out because he's probably sensory uh what would you say, sensory um
overload or something.
yeah, overload, something like that, and he accidentally kills this woman. and all the people have already kind of like had their fill in terms of like they don't necessarily like this mentally challenged guy. They like the guy who's with him, but this makes them create a mob, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go essentially kill this guy for what he did to this girl." Even though it was like when you read the book, you really surmise it was the girl's fault. She was like very much like in a weird way, like playing on the emotions of this mentally challenged person who's like a giant. And his friend, the normal guy, I'm sorry, not normal, the guy who's not mentally challenged, has always had this like way of talking to him where he's like, "Hey, we're gonna go on a farm one day, and you're gonna have all your rabbits because he really likes rabbits, and you're gonna watch him play all day," and that's kind of like how he calms him down. So he takes him, and this is not funny, but you'll see where it becomes funny. So when he finds out that the mob is coming for him, he takes him up to a ridge, and he tells him to sit down, and he's like, "Tell me about," and he starts telling him about the farm, and the guy's like, and he's like, "We're gonna build a farm," and he's like, "What kind of farm is it gonna be?" And he's like, "It's gonna be a really fun farm. You're gonna have all your rabbits," and he'll be like, "What are we gonna do with our rabbits?" Like, and he's standing behind him, and he eventually shoots him in the back of the head, because he wanted to essentially mercy kill this mentally challenged person because he knew that the mob was going to do way worse to him, and they were on the way to kill him. So he like put him in a really happy state, and then without him knowing, from behind him, shot him in the back of the head as like a way to let him be happy one last time, but also make sure that he didn't get tortured by this mob or something of the sort. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. It's like one of the saddest story endings in the world. But now, how this becomes funny is in the burnt peanut clips, he constantly goes, when someone's down, he runs up to him and puts a gun to their head, and he's like, we're gonna go to a big farm. We're gonna go to a big farm, and you're gonna have rabbits, and you're gonna play." And the guys are like, "No, don't kill me." And he's like, "You're gonna play. It's gonna be so nice." And then he just like he does the of mice and men act where he's telling them how he's going to like how they're going to be at this really nice farm, and it's going to be a
You're
really
gonna
great
run
life.
forever.
Yeah, you're gonna run forever, and we're gonna be in the fields all day, and it's gonna be the best thing ever. And then he shoots him in the head, and he does that to multiple people, and it's actually hilarious. So that is, without one of the things I have problems with is giving way too much context sometimes. I've been called out multiple times in my life by multiple people for that. So I don't think it's unique to some. I think it's probably an actual problem, but for podcasting, I think it works.
It works for sure. Because there's a lot of times, like, I don't know, various Rogan episodes where they just start talking about something, but then Rogan does a really good job at being like, okay, for the people that don't know, kind of give some
Yes,
context as to what it is. So you
of
do
mice
have
and
to
men.
do that, especially in a long form content like a podcast episode.
You guys are welcome. And if whoever's watching this on video, this camera will not stop adjusting, and I'm getting so sick of this.
Just
It's
don't
like,
move.
but I'm not. It's like, what is the point of like having it adjust if it just constantly readjusts? But regardless, onward we go. Burnt Peanut is taking over the streaming world, and whenever he's playing Arc Raiders and he talks about getting goop, which
Yeah.
is
Goop, goop,
Arc
goop, 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 goop.
Arc Raiders slang for uh getting good,
Weapons,
yeah,
ammo, gear.
good scavenging for good killing someone and getting all their good stuff. And
Because
it's
he's a
just so funny to
goopa.
watch him be like, "Oh, oh, oh, goop, 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 goop."
Oh, oh.
For anyone who doesn't game, this is probably not going to sound amazing to you, but it's a good time to get into it because of specifically Burnt Peanut.
Yeah, even if you're not a gamer, you will find his clips just hilarious. His entire personality and mannerism and just interactions with his teammates or enemies or whatever it might be is just, it's the most legendary stuff ever. I mean, I've seen multiple videos of, people that just aren't gamers that react to to watching Peanut and they love him. So you don't have to be a gamer to watch Peanut because the dude is just an absolute legend.
And the funniest part is he lives here in Texas, but no one knows who he actually is. So It's like, that's the biggest. It's literally, if you're not familiar with gaming, his. I'm so sick of this camera. Um, it's why is it adjusting? Stop it. Stop it. Okay.
Talk to it. Ask it nicely.
I'm gonna punch it in the face, and then I'm gonna have to pay another way too much American US dollars to buy another computer. This thing was expensive. All right, let me. Okay, just this is such a struggle.
My money's on the
But
computer. I'm sorry.
dude, look at this. It's ruining the view because you can't even see the microphone. Stop it.
This is going to be a good
Jeez.
bit.
It's
Keegan
it's
versus the MacBook.
ridiculous. I'm gonna beat the heck out of this MacBook. I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying to be better about that. This is not helping me. Um, what was I just about to say? Yes, the burnt peanut. The reason he's called the burnt peanut is because he is actually a overlay of his eyes and mouth on a peanut caricature.
It's a
And that
VTuber. It's a virtual YouTuber.
Yes. So you never actually see his face. You don't know who he actually is, and that's a big mystery. So he's around here in Texas somewhere, very highly likely in the DFW area because it's just a more populated part of Texas. And I mean, it could be the other. I would just say he's in one of the big ones. He's in Austin, he's in San Antonio, he's in DFW, or he's in Houston. I don't think he's going to be in Odessa. But
Watch, he's sitting out in Midland on a homestead, fully locked up. Katie barred the doors.
right. But so that's one of the funniest things about him is his eyes and mouth on a peanut, and it's
A
almost like
peanut.
I don't want to see him as a person. I
Yeah,
really
it would
don't.
ruin
I
it.
I
It would ruin
honestly
it.
hope it's so disappointing when you like they say never meet your heroes because they'll always let you down, and I really do not want to see the burnt peanut as a person because it is much more fun with him as this hilarious peanut when he makes all his facial expressions and as he's going through the game. Uh, but look him up if you haven't. I mean, we're probably old news, if you are anything in the gaming world or not anything, if you have any like towards gaming. But yes, it's as entertaining as it gets when it comes to streaming.
Right here, right now. I wouldn't imagine we're the first to do it, but for Thoughtify, it's a first. This is a call to action. This is a wanted poster. This is a wanted campaign. For all of our listeners, find out who the burnt peanut is in real life.
We're offering cash prizes
Cash prizes. It's a
of
bounty.
ten to $20. I mean, maybe even 50
Maybe even a
for
hat. We'll throw a hat in there too. Anyone.
yes. I mean, that's worth at least $35. So that
$35
plus
plus 10.
$50, I mean,
Yep.
you're sitting at $105 of value right there.
It's just so much money. Math
And
is good.
yes, did I do that right? 7, 8, 9, 10.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear what you said.
No. Oh, it's $85 of value.
Yeah,
I don't
35
know
plus
why
50. Yep.
I don't know why I started from 70. I'm dyslexic.
It's okay. You're just a
Yes.
goopa. You're a real life goopa.
Goop, 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 goop. Goop, 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 goop.
Lest we
Oh,
digress on the burnt peanut, he's awesome. Thoughtify loves burnt peanut. So burnt peanut, if you somehow ever see this, your Thoughtify crew, that's us. We
big
think
fans.
you're awesome.
Big fans.
Big
We'd
fans.
love to collab or make fun of us. I don't care. Just if
Or
you mentioned
randomly
us, that'd be
clash.
hilarious.
Yep. Or randomly clash inside a match of Art Creators one day. Maybe.
Oh, that would be so
Maybe.
much fun. But I don't know. Like, one of the things that I'm curious about with Arc Raiders is can you. Okay, that was about to be a dumb question because I was like, can you predetermine who you play with all the time? Because, yeah, you can load in with your team, but aren't the teams only 3?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen teams of 4 in Arc
Mm-mm.
Raiders, or
I
maybe
wish
like
there were. I
sometimes I
really
feel
do.
like there's like special settings for really popular streamers that they don't release to everyone else. But I don't know.
Peanut only plays, in 3. It's only trios across the board. I really do think that some of these new updates that they're talking about doing for Arc Raiders, like Speranza, what we were talking about, where they're going to open your home base Speranza as like an open world kind of walk around area. I think when they do that, they really need to provide an option to allow for more than 3 players per squad. Just because, like, I don't know, we have so many buddies that play the game and it sucks having to split squads because you just can't all play together. So I don't know. If they do like 5 would be a little too much, but I think if they open it up to at least 4, I feel like that'd be a solid squad to run.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. I mean, and the more the merrier in Arc Raiders, because it's very easy to get killed. It's very
Yeah.
easy to lose all your hard-earned stuff. Last time we played Arc Raiders, I literally, for the first time ever, had a really good gun. What was it? The Venator? The
The
Venerator?
pistol?
No,
Or
no, it
no, you had
wasn't.
oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. The Gatling gun.
Yes. One of the
Oh
most
my gosh.
high-powered guns in the game. It's honestly, there's better guns, but, one of the better guns. And I was so excited to have that because I don't ever get good stuff, nor do I keep it long. And we play one game, and they convinced me to take it in, chasing our buddy Dixon. And
Blame Dixon.
it's Dixon's fault. We're probably going to be playing with later. I'm going to bring this back up.
Yeah.
The Venator. No, it's not.
No, the Venator is the pistol. Oh my gosh. Dude, why?
What is it?
Hold on. Why is this
You having
this hard
trouble?
to remember?
Cut
The
to commercial.
Torrente. The Torrente.
Torrente. That's what it is.
Golly. For as much as we've played the
Jeez.
game, geez, that was embarrassing.
I try
We
to
do
block
play
it
the
from
game.
my memory.
Yeah. But overall, there's some exciting stuff from what it sounds like with Arc Raiders that's coming to the game from what
When
the
we-
developers have teased.
We introduced that game to our friend Dixon, and he is now like an overlord in the game. He's now like a level 60, whereas we're like, I'm the lowest because I just don't find as much time to play. I really don't like playing many games if I'm not just playing with friends. Like there's only a few games I enjoy playing, and usually they're single player, like Black Myth Wukong or Cyberpunk. And
Ghost of
even then,
Tsushima.
yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, but I didn't buy the new one, Ghost of Yoeti, because I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I read one review where it was just like very similar mechanics, not very, kind of just like rebranding the graphics of the same game, and that was enough to make me not buy it. And then I actually talked to one of my buddies that I used to work with, shout out Josh, and he was like, "No, one of the better games I played. I would totally suggest buying it." But I'm like, you have a child. You have an uncultured, um, view of
Gaming
video
experience.
games now, because it's kind of like working at the Kool-Aid factory versus buying Kool-Aid sometimes. Like if you work there, you're not as enamored by it. But if you buy it sometimes and you get to drink it sometimes as a treat, Kool-Aid's the best thing in the world. So I think being a dad makes you have a lot less time for video games. So when you do get to play them, you're just like, this is awesome. Versus being a single person in DFW like myself, and you just play games too much, and then you have to figure out what else to do with your time.
Yep, pretty much. And you get bored easy too with the same game. And it's really hard to find that full satisfaction in like a game that just keeps your attention. So, and we could go off the deep end with a game that I know every single gamer in the history of mankind has been just uber desiring for ever now. And that's an open world, open universe Star Wars game where you can create your own character. If you want to be a Jedi, be a Jedi. If you want to be a clone trooper, be a clone trooper. Bounty hunter, bounty hunter. And just be able to fly
Clone
your ship
Trooper
and
wouldn't
go to
be
different.
very good.
I mean, I think
You
it'd
just
be
have to
cool.
report to base all the time.
Clone Commando would be pretty dope.
Something like that.
We won't go down that road because that'll be a whole separate conversation.
Did
But
we want to bring up what was it? Fallout?
we can, yeah. Quick blip and then
That's about it. I'll just say my quick gripe with it. We don't have to spend too much time on it. I watched the first season. I know there's a second season, and everyone's really hyped about it. Walter Goggins, that's his
Walton
name,
Goggins.
right? Walton Goggins carries the entire show from what I've seen, and all the other actors who are not. He's not the main character, but he essentially carries the entire second season. Incentivized me to get as excited for it. Second thing is in the first season, this is my biggest gripe. It literally just makes me mad. There's this point where one of these essential recruits for this program where they're like the knights and the
Brotherhood
guys
of
who
Steel.
yeah, the Warriors of Steel or whatever, where they walk around in these big mech suits. He ends up inheriting a mech suit or kind of taking it because this guy is really mean, essentially gets himself killed. And then he takes the mech suit, and then he's fighting Walton Goggins. Um, this like there was a scene where he like literally throws a large boulder or like a rock that's probably like 70 to 100 pounds like a mile in this mech suit, and then like there's a scene where he's fighting Walton Goggins, who's the ghoul, which I'm not going to explain what it is, but just watch the show or play the game. And he is standing on a wood surface and gets his foot stuck in wood. Like it's like there's a hole in the wood, and this mech suit that apparently has enough power to throw a large rock over a mile, can't get its foot out of a wooden deck. It's stuck there. And I'm just like, and the other thing is like, this thing is apparently like 3,000 pounds almost. Like, it's like, maybe not, maybe it's like 1,200 pounds. It's still very large. And it's standing on this wooden deck that has, uh, space under it, and it's not breaking it. That is so logically inconsistent that stuff like that just pisses me off to a point where I'm just like, it makes me not want to watch the rest of the show. You're telling me it
Yeah,
can throw a rock a mile, but it doesn't have enough strength to get its leg out of
boardwalk basically.
out of a wooden deck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, as the caveat, for a show that is based on a video game, I mean, we've seen the Halo show. I mean, I haven't seen The Witcher, but from what I heard, it was really good up until Henry Cavill left. And we have Fallout. I will say Fallout, holistically speaking, has done a really good job at being true to its roots of being a game. Like, unlike Halo, where it's just like, no one knows what Master Chief looks like. But guess what? In episode 1, season 1, we're going to take his helmet off so that way the world can see who Master Chief is and just ruin the entire thing. But
Yeah,
Fallout has done a pretty good job, holistically speaking, sticking to its roots, in my opinion.
yeah.
Despite, the little oopsie that the power armor gets stuck in wood, you know. But
Well, I'm not going to not watch it, but it was one of those things where I was just like, that's not consistent, and that doesn't
yeah,
make me happy. I hate it when
yeah.
there's logical inconsistencies, but I digress.
Especially in a fictional show.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if you're going to
Uh,
bring it to life, make it as believable as possible.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, no, I think you'll like season 2. It's entertaining, I think there's only 8 episodes last episode's coming out next week. So I just watched episode 7 today. It's
How was it?
start good, It's kind of slow.
You know, whenever you ask someone how was something, and the first thing they say is good, I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's all I need right there. Same thing as when you ask a girl if her friend is cute or not, and she's like, if she doesn't say anything besides yes, then it's her, she doesn't think so. Like if she says anything, if she prefaces it with anything besides the word yes, you've got your answer. Like
Mm.
girls are it's that has been one of the things I have found is most consistent in life. Ask a girl if her best friend is really cute, and she'll be like, "Oh my gosh!" Like she is just like, "Nope, nope, she's not. Nope, you're overcompensating." If she says anything besides an immediate yes, then they probably don't think so very much themselves. But
Versus if you ask a guy like, "Hey, is your best friend cute?" Be like, "He's ugly as crap."
it's like honestly, I don't know how he's ever gotten a girlfriend, but you can. He's
I
easy
even
pickings.
heard I even heard he kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about it, I'd say no. I'd say don't. Uh, if you're
The
looking for an
dichotomy.
introduction, I hope it's for like Make a Wish Foundation or something like that. But outside of that, I don't suggest dating him. He's a pretty horrible person.
Oh my gosh. we've been best friends for 25 years now. So it's funny when we are around people that, are kind of like new, even that we're meeting for the first time. And Keegan and I bring up our humor that we've used for 25 years in front of them. It tends to sound like we legitimately can't stand each other and like rip each other. And it's funny to see that person's kind of interaction of being like, what? Is it
These
okay to
guys even
laugh? Is it
like
okay
each
to
other.
laugh?
Like
Yeah.
we literally we were at an Oktoberfest this past, guess what month it's in?
That's right.
October.
Uh,
And there's this thing. So both of our fathers were pilots, and pilots have call signs. Uh, we thought it'd be a more admirable route to go. Chase went into IT. I went into sales. We thought it was more admirable than the military. But or now Chase does some other big boy venture capitalist stuff, kind of. Would that be a right way to
it's
describe it?
it's
I don't know.
pretty top
Look him up
secret.
on
I'd have
LinkedIn.
I'd have to
Look
kill
him
you
up
if I
on.
told you.
Well, you know what? I'll meet you in the grave. Um,
Wow, that was dark.
I hope we're buried next. I hope we're buried next to each other and not the people we end up marrying.
Sorry, future spouses. We're gonna be in the same grave.
Have a special request to don't bury me next to my wife, bury me next to Chase in my will, but in really small writing.
Right?
Um,
It's the fine print.
it's yeah, that'll be a good little detail to look at. But no, we were talking, and long story short, in the military, especially in the pilot world, which both of our dads were pilots, they have call signs, which are nicknames that you are known by, and usually they come up through cool situations, funny situations, whatever they might be. So, a few years back, we were like, we should give everyone in our friend group call signs. Mine is PG, Chase's is Schwig, and there was one day at dinner where Chase was arguing that you can change call signs, and I was saying no, you can't change call signs. And then his dad, of course, weighed in on Chase's side and was like, you can change call signs if there's enough consensus on it. And I was like, that is such. And then 6 months later, we're at Oktoberfest, and Chase is like, you can't change call signs. And I'm like, then why did you freaking have the conversation with me and the argument at the place that we eat every week after church and say you could? And Chase claims that he didn't do that, and we never had that conversation. And I am emotionally attached to this because I remember how frustrated emotions make me remember stuff, and I was emotionally attached to this memory. I remember where we were sitting in the restaurant. I remember what we were talking about, how it came up, and I remember Chase saying that you can, if ever enough people vote on it, change call signs. Long story short, you can see the passion behind the topic. That passion was coming out, and then people that were with us were like, "Are they actually mad at each other right now?"
Slash
Uh,
everyone else walking around us.
yeah, I mean, people probably thought we were about to. Probably thought we were a married couple getting into a lovers' quarrel.
Yes, which happens quite often.
Yes, I hate this camera. I'm so sick of this camera.
You'll have to
Anyways,
chat GPT it, see how to turn it off. But
yeah,
yes, lest we digress on all that, one of the big topics, and this is going to be a hardcore pivot that we did want to talk about because it's really interesting that not a lot of people are, it seems to be the case, that the Artemis mission, Artemis 2, is getting ready to launch a 4-man crew on a 10-day journey to deep space to basically orbit around the moon and come back. We haven't done that since 1972. Just absolutely insane. And for all those that don't know what the Artemis program is, I'll give you a quick, brief little overview here because, like we said earlier, context helps. So, the Artemis program is NASA's initiative to return humans to the moon and establish a sustainable presence there while preparing for future missions to Mars. It's going to focus on scientific discovery, technological advancements, and learning to live and work on another celestial body. Key goals include exploring the moon's South Pole region, which holds potential resources like water, ice, and fostering a lunar economy through commercial and international partnerships, which would be insanely interesting. Unlike the Apollo era, however, Artemis emphasizes long-term exploration with plans to build infrastructure such as the Lunar Gateway space station in orbit around the moon. Plus, the program involves cutting edge technology like the Space Launch System, SLS rocket, Orion spacecraft, human landing systems, which do include obviously SpaceX's Starship and Blue Origin's Blue Moon. In advanced spacesuits, NASA collaborates with commercial entities via programs like Commercial Lunar Payload Services. And crazy enough, they've actually secured international commitments through the Artemis Accords, which have been signed by 56 countries as of 2026. So it's like this giant pull to get an international conglomerate to basically put movement behind this movement and this program to basically become almost multiplanetary, or at least start the early stages of being able to do so. So all that to say, Artemis 2 is actually getting ready to launch from what they said February 6th. And they're actually in their final preparations for dress rehearsals and all that February 2nd. Yeah, quite literally. Quite literally.
All right, everyone, go get your uniforms on.
Try it on. But yeah, so as of February 6th or February 8th, we'll be actually launching the Artemis rocket on a 10-day journey to orbit around the moon and come back. Like, think about how insane that is. We're going to be able to have our moment of what everyone did back in the 60s of seeing a crew actually land on the moon. We're going to have that in our own lifetime.
That is going to be cool. But I guarantee you that this is going to be used to fuel a lot of people saying that the moon landing originally wasn't real. Because it'd be like, why do we need to practice if we've already done it? It's like, there's about 40 billion things that could go wrong, and they all have to go right for this to go right. And we got very lucky the first time that they all went right. And I'm pretty sure there was really bad things that happened that didn't go right, especially when they were coming back to Earth. I'm pretty sure something failed and they had to rebuild it. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be super cool to. I really hope that I think it will be very easy for us to, you know, get back on the moon in our lifetime. You know, I think we'll definitely see people walking on the moon back in our lifetime versus whereas in the past it happened. Let's not get into that conversation, whether or not it did happen. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, we had a whole episode dedicated to it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we could have done better research. I don't think it was the best overview of whether or not it did happen. But I'm so sick of this camera. Oh my gosh. This camera is going to plague me this entire episode. Just try to move this over here.
People are going to get motion sickness watching this episode.
I know. Don't watch. Just listen to this episode. This is ridiculous.
Unless you want some extra entertainment.
Yes, which is me being very frustrated. But it's going to be really cool to, like you said, have our moment of watching people, pursue science in this way and being able to go around the moon and actually orbit it and having people doing that. Because I mean, even the International Space Station is just low Earth orbit. Technically, it's like, it's kind of like driving the pace car at like a NASCAR race. Like, did you drive on the NASCAR track? Yes, but did you race? No. So it's like, that's kind of like what the ISS is. Were you technically in space? Yes, but was it like the type of space travel that we theorize or fantasize about? No. Still super cool. I mean, it's still zero gravity, all that stuff. Shout out to all the people who think that's fake. Faking faking a full live stream of zero gravity would be pretty hard to pull off. But regardless, it's going to be really unique to see that happen. I just hate how it's going to further fuel people's speculation on whether or not it did actually happen, the moon landing, because I can understand how someone would be like, couldn't we just kind of like cut back to the part before we go, versus like having to, test all this stuff again, with the more advanced rockets that we have. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch it play out. And I mean, in February, the one thing that I'm really hoping doesn't happen is there's not a launch delay on February 6th, because that stuff happens so much.
Yeah.
And then they have to launch at specific times, like when the moon is in a specific place for it to be, you know, for them to have all the right conditions to, do what they want to do. And, but um, yeah, hopefully. And one of the things I've thought about, this has made me think about, is like whenever the whenever we do go back to the moon and land people on there again, it's going to be very like all of the conspiracy theorists saying that the moon landing was fake will then lose all their relevance because it'll just be like, okay, even if that was fake, we've done it now. So there's no real, it doesn't even matter if the old one was fake at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes me think. So, Palmer Luckey, the CEO, founder of Anduril, that we kind of briefly alluded to last couple episodes. I mean, he's been on multiple podcasts and they've asked him, so what do you think about um, the moon landing? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? And he's like, it's absolutely real. Because when we went to the moon the first time, we put these array panels that you can actually
This was
beam
on the
a
Logan Paul
laser.
podcast.
Yeah, that you can beam a laser to, and once it hits the panels, it will reflect back. And you can do that. If you have a strong enough laser and all that stuff, you can actually confirm that we did land on the moon because the panels are there. So Palmer Luckey
Yeah.
is obviously a believer. I mean, I don't know. There just seems to be less and less credibility out there for individuals that doubt that we ever went in the first place.
And this is a tangent, but a worthwhile one.
Law Tech. Nice
Shout
cut.
out LA Tech.
Your
Went, never
favorite place.
graduated.
Ruston, Louisiana.
Gosh, Ruston, Louisiana is one of the most godforsaken places in the world, but that's a topic for another day. Gosh, I hate that place. Um, it expelled me like a fever too. It got me out of there. Me and that place are not on good terms. The Rev, uh, two docks. What else? What's another place? What's that place I was a bouncer at that I got fired from for pouring my own shots behind the bar? Um, Funny
What?
story
I'm on
time.
staff.
I literally, I worked at this bar in college and I was a bouncer because I did, I can make fun of me, I don't care. Mixed martial arts, I did jujitsu, I did boxing, and I hadn't broken my neck yet. So I was a bouncer and at this bar, I think it's the Rev. I think that's what it was. But there was a lot of other guys who worked there that were in a fraternity that I was not in. I started to join a fraternity. I never went all the way through just because I'm not a fraternity guy. There's no way you're going to make me go across campus to do anything for anyone. I was just
At
like,
any time.
at any time. Like, I was like, either fight me for it or it's not happening. Um, but I went there on my night off one time and there's this I don't know. It had to be because he was in a different fraternity. But I was like, "Hey, bro, you mind grabbing me a couple of vodka shots?" And I was there with a girl, I believe, and he ignored me. Straight up heard me. I was like, "Bro, like, hey, I literally work here. Do you mind grabbing me a couple of vodka shots?" I asked like 3 or 4 times. I was also probably intoxicated, so I can't confirm that number. But eventually, I said to him, and if I've learned when I'm intoxicated, when I get to a certain state and I say, if this doesn't happen, I am going to do this. I am very serious about what I said I'm going to do. Because I've got other stories that was like, I asked for something, I say, hey, this is my last time asking. If this doesn't happen, this is what I'm gonna do. And I asked so many times and I was like, hey bro, I've asked like 5 times. If you don't give me 2 vodka shots, I'm going behind the bar. I'm going to pour myself. So guess what? It didn't happen. So what did happen was I went behind the bar while he was at the other side of it. I grabbed the vodka bottle and I started pouring the shots. And then I got bounced out of the bar. They like put me in a chokehold, threw me out of the bar, but my phone was in there. So I spent and the bar was just about to close, and they were cleaning up, and like, well, I mean, in terms of like, I got thrown out maybe 30 minutes before, and it was closed, and I realized my phone was still in the bar, and I sat there banging on that door, like boom, 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 hard, obnoxiously loud for 45 minutes straight until they answered the door. And they're like, "What the F do you want?" And I'm like, "You guys have my phone." And they're like, "No, we don't." And then they found my phone. They gave it to me. And I got fired the next day.
There you go.
Good times.
Rust in Louisiana for you. Some
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Gosh, I hated
But
that place.
totally
Shout out to
interrupted
whoever
your
that
train of
bartender
thought.
was. I hope you remember it the same way I did. You're not cool, and I would love to bring that up and just reminisce about it. But at that moment, you weren't cool. I'd love to be cool with you now. If you come across the podcast, reach out to me. We'd love to be good friends.
Heck yeah. We'll send you a hat. But
If you find me, I will send you so much Thoughtify gear because we could talk about it. We'll invite you on the podcast to talk about the story, and I want to hear your perspective because I'm sure from your sober side, being that you were working at the bar and weren't being a patron in the bar, I'm sure it's a different story. I'd love to hear that side.
maybe it'll happen. Maybe one day. But in the meantime, we'll have to wait and see.
I
But
was
as I so
wild.
rudely interrupt you when I said latte cup, nice cup, blah, 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 what are you going to say about the moon?
No,
Put
I
you on
was
the
gonna
spot.
push into the tangent of we had wanted to talk about direct energy weapons. And I was going to say something because there's also we had seen something about Lockheed Martin working on direct energy weapons, but no, you had brought up Anduril, and Lucky Palmer, who's the guy who runs Anduril,
Palmer
and
Lucky.
he was on the what Palmer Lucky? Gosh,
Palmer
that's
Lucky.
dyslexia for you.
I know.
Um,
No, trust me. I'm like, it's Lucky Palmer. It sounds like it'd be more natural for that to
yeah,
be the case, but
Palmer
it's not.
Lucky. But dude's literally out of like a comic in terms of who would start a defense contracting company, but also be like a nerd at heart and loves
He's like
Lord
a
of the
real life
Rings.
Tony Stark,
Like
legitimately, just a
legitimately,
genius.
like the genius, but also nah, Tony Stark was more like a suave, like really cool guy, but
But he's
also
also
super
a
genius.
genius. Yeah.
No, yeah, but he's more of like the guy that was like probably the nerd to other people, or people never took him seriously, and
Yeah.
now he runs a defense contracting company and has multiple contracts with the U.S. military for millions of dollars, and he creates insanely crazy technology, and he's still the exact same guy he always was, like never changed a bit, still loves all the stuff he loves, like was always himself, which is like even cooler. um but no, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about this eagle eye technology that he had created for the SEAL teams. And it's essentially where they utilize drones and then they utilize optics in the helmets,
Virtual reality.
yeah, virtual reality in the helmets of these different SEALs or, combat teams, to where when one person identifies someone, everyone all of a sudden like immediately knows where that person is they identified because of where they're at, and most likely the drone who's identified them in the air as well. They can essentially see through walls to see exactly where that person is. So it creates this hive mind of a situation to where anything that anyone else knows is shared in real time in virtual reality with everyone else on the team. So there's no need for communicate like it. I mean, the communication between the SEALs is still insanely high, and that's one of the things that makes them so efficient. But it takes away from any of the guesswork in terms of what's being communicated. And he showed how this worked on the Joe Rogan podcast. And then you go to the Maduro thing, where they went and captured Maduro in Venezuela. And I don't know how much of this is propaganda. The person that they interviewed from Maduro's security team, talking, because obviously it was meant to be out there, meant to like, try to scare other people. Don't mess with the U.S. But one thing he did say is that 20 guys went through about 300 guys in 20 minutes, which is, I can only imagine they were using Anduril's technology that they had worked with in terms of, because they said first a bunch of helicopter, like 8 helicopters came in, and then past that point, a bunch of drones came in, and then there was audio microwave technology used that essentially made a lot of people keel over and throw up blood or bleed through their ears.
Just
And
completely immobilized them. Like
like
they'd never experienced anything like that in their entire lives.
And he said that the team of 20 people was so efficient and they were burning through people. Like he said it was as if every person on that team was firing 300 rounds a minute. Just like every round had a target, hit the target. There was not a wasted round anywhere. And I can only imagine. We were already going to talk about, direct energy weapons. That made me think about. You said Anduril. That made me think about
Maduro
I
capture.
guarantee you they were using that eagle eye technology just to locate people using the drones above. And that was Delta, wasn't it? Or was it that was
Delta.
SEAL Team 6 or Delta?
Delta. That was Delta.
Okay. So that was Delta, and that's the
Presumably.
president's. Yeah. I
Presumably.
mean, no one
That's
knows who's
like the
actually on
highest
the.
tier special forces in the entire world.
Isn't Delta SEAL Team 6 or SEAL Team 6 DevGru?
DevGru.
Okay, yeah. So, Delta is the president's power hand. That's out who he has on beck and call to be able to send into places when something really needs to get done. That's who they report to essentially in terms of where their missions come from. And I can only imagine that they were utilizing this technology and had trained with it and were just like, I mean, that type of training plus being able to know where everyone is at once and share information instantaneously through drone technology and then, augmented reality. I mean, it's almost as futuristic as it gets, man. That's just wild.
Yeah. Supposedly, and I don't know how true this is, but on that raid, and again, it might have been propaganda, but it was hilarious. But evidently, as they were flying in on these helicopters, Delta Force was listening to Chief Keef.
No, that unfortunately I'm pretty sure that's not real, but
Oh,
I mean,
I know. It probably
I
wouldn't
wish
be,
it
but
was. No,
oh,
I hope it is. I hope that is real because they were listening to Chief Keef Sosa.
although real
Sosa,
quick,
Raisin Rovers.
I'm seeing, and again, I don't know how accurate this is, but evidently there was a post that said Donald Trump mentions that U.S. soldiers were listening to Chief Keef prior to the invasion in Venezuela.
I'm sure there were some Marines that were. I mean, dude, like, did you
uh,
see
that's
like
so
one thing I will
crazy.
say is like the logistics that, regardless of how you feel about the situation, it was an excellent display of military
Execution.
capability in terms of the logistics it takes to coordinate something like that and then go in, execute it perfectly, literally not have one casualty on our side. We did have some injuries in
Injuries.
terms there were people who got shot, but it was like four of them, like maybe. But yeah, they went in and it was just like I mean, that's what you want from a military. You want the capability to surgically execute a task with overwhelming force in a way that protects as many of our soldiers as possible and ensures that whatever the outcome we're looking for happens. Uh, I mean, it was just watching some of those clips, having, family in the military that, wouldn't didn't contribute necessarily to that, but as an overall body were part of it, was just like mind blowing.
Overwhelming. Just absolute overwhelming force in the blink of an eye. Just quite literally and pun intended, you don't know what hit you
Until it's done.
until it's done and over with, and that's that. And you're just left to literally pick up the pieces of what the heck just happened. But well, I know we were going to get into some direct energy weapons, conspiracy wise, that defense contractors like Lockheed are supposedly developing, but we are
Just go
coming
over it
up
real
on
quick.
real
I mean,
quick.
if yeah, just real quick, because I'm because I didn't even get to. I saw the article. I didn't dig through it, but I was interested to see like what was the application of the weapons.
Okay, so just a quick highlight, and this will be a good teaser before we wrap up for next episode. But there was a post that shared a clip from an individual that was presenting. His name is Charles Chase, great name, who was a former senior technical fellow at Lockheed Martin Skunk Works division, which is basically their uber top secret stuff where they're dealing and creating all kinds of wildly locked down confidential technology, where basically he discusses a patented technology for generating a quote coherent matter wave beams. This concept draws from quantum mechanics, treating particles like electrons or other charged fermions as waves that can be synchronized, much like photons in a laser. The key innovation Chase describes is using the Aronov-Bohm effect, a quantum phenomenon where a magnetic field's vector potential influences particle phases without direct energy transfer or force to induce coherence in particle streams at room temperature, bypassing the need for ultra cold conditions like those in the Bose-Einstein condensates. So basically, laser weapons and laser technology, where we're supposedly able to harness concepts drawn from quantum mechanics and kind of bringing that all together with particles and waves that can be synchronized, much like photons in a laser. So interesting technology. Again, conspiracy. We can neither confirm nor deny that it is actually real, and we have no access to
Spirit. Now,
actually knowing.
listen, we've got a friend. I'm not understanding anybody or a friend. We know him. It's pretty cool.
We can't say.
Uh, he works in the Skunk Works division at Lockheed, and to give
Who?
Lockheed, his name is, his address is, but no,
If this is that person, he's not in Skunkworks.
one of our best friends. I've known him since we were in third grade. We grew up in the same place. One of the coolest guys ever, smartest guys ever. His call sign fits perfectly. Won't say what it is, but he's just said, and Lockheed, if you're listening to this, he does an amazing job of keeping everything under wraps. I've tried to press him sometimes. He said, Keegan, I'm gonna have to report you if you keep doing this. So I don't
As
anymore.
you're
And
saying this on a podcast now.
I have in the past, and he's shut me down. He was like, Keegan, I love you. You can't keep doing this to me, or else I'm gonna have to report you. Uh, and I don't know how serious he was, but I took it seriously. But he's
Enough to say it
essentially
on a
said
podcast.
that even some of the stuff that he's been privy to would blow your mind. Like, would just make you go, there's no way. And that's it for the programs that he works with. I know that there's, you know, really cool capabilities, but it just doesn't seem like it would be the programs that have all of the craziest futuristic stuff. So like know that there's, in the program that he's on, there's programs that go 10 levels deeper, that are like that he'll never be privy to. To know that he's just like kind of on the tip of the iceberg into Skunkworks, which is their, crazy department. And he's already, at least said that there's just things out there that you would never, you would be very surprised by our capabilities. Like, dude, a direct energy weapon. I mean, we've put direct energy weapons into actual use. If you don't think that in the back rooms of Lockheed Martin that they don't have that they if you don't think they have projects and things they're working on that are pure sci-fi and would blow any of your understanding or belief of what we're capable of out of the water, then you're extremely naive.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially with revelations in quantum mechanics in the past 20 years, like my God, dude, what's actually possible versus our ability to get there, and now with quantum computing and being able to somewhat utilize that to expedite the process of what's actually possible, and like I said, our ability to create solutions that would enable us to utilize some of these possibilities. um it's wild.
It is.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting stuff. To be in the know, that would be so cool. That would be
Lockheed, I
amazing.
will be whatever you want me to be for you if you just give me some secrets. Like I'll be
Which,
what they call a useful idiot. Because I listened to you listened to that Joe, yeah, you remember that when they were talking about Tim DeLonge, um who had it was the guy who it was the Joe Rogan podcast. He's kind of like the UFO guy a little bit. It was the most
Greer?
recent one.
Not Greer.
But no, huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
It wasn't Greer.
I don't know
You
who it
sent
was.
it to me recently, but regardless,
Yeah.
he was talking about Blink 182's lead, singer. I believe it's Tim DeLonge. Isn't that his name? Yeah, DeLonge is his last name. But long story short, he's always been really interested in UFOs and things like that. And he essentially went to Lockheed Martin and was like, I want to be like a voice for you guys. In some way, shape, or form, and then he helped with something I think called like To the Stars Academy, but they had apparently leaked information to him that was like wild, like there's these organisms out in space that we know about that are just like these, all this stuff that was just kind of really out there, and they were theorizing that they used him as what they call a useful idiot, someone who is a voice, has a platform, but that they can use to disseminate information that will cross contaminate information that is true and make it really hard for people to identify what is actually true versus not true that's been leaked out. So I say all that to say, Lockheed, I will be a useful idiot for you if you don't mind just having me into some back rooms. Abduct me, just don't put anything in my butt.
Unless it's the safe pocket for Mark Raiders.
Gloves only. But have you found any of those? In Mark Raiders, apparently you can find gloves that allow you to raid someone's safe pocket.
I don't think that's true. I think that's I don't think that's accurate. That was a rumor.
Well, we might get our safe pockets raided tonight, but
I was going to say,
see what happens.
It'd be a good segue to start wrapping up episode 45 because we got to go hop on some Mark Raiders just in time for Burnt Peanut to hop on here. So,
BP,
I'm going to order some Thai food, go shave my face, trim up my beard.
You're going to shave? You're going to shave before we play Ark Raiders?
I want to.
You're going to trim? Like, I mean,
I want to go.
I just feel like that's like
because I'm going to order food. I have to order Thai food.
I just feel like that's an activity that you could literally do like at a different time of the day. But I'm not going to,
But I figured, I mean, might as well, because by the time the food gets here, we're going to be playing games. And we're going to be playing games like throughout the night. And I don't want to like stop playing games to go shower and shave. So I'd rather just get it done.
I'll wake up in the morning, take a shower, shave. I'll bend over the stove and whip it like a slave. Whip it like a slave. That is early Lil Wayne. Like a Slave is the song. Shout out Lil Wayne. Great times.
There you go. But yep, lest we digress. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Episode 45. We are looking forward to episode 46 with these direct energy weapon theories that we will be talking about. And what else am I missing? Some cool new stuff with Thoughtify. I know we keep saying that, but that's going to be a thing. So stay tuned for that. And
we love you guys. It was a great episode.
Love you guys. Absolutely.
And we got some other things we didn't get to. We're going to talk about next episode, but enjoy the outro music made by yours truly, being Thoughtify. I don't know why I'm saying Thoughtify. Not Spotify, Thoughtify. We love you guys. We're going to go play video games.
Peace out.
Peace. Follow your dreams.
Thoughtify. Peace, everybody.